All right, welcome back to Microsoft Excel Take 4000. Because again, there's something kind of cool that we can do with Microsoft Excel. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make kind of a worksheet for like third grade aged students. So in one column here, I'm just going to put in a formula like 3x 3 times 3 equals, and then 3x4 equals, and so on. Equals. Okay, so this is going to be like their question, and then we're going to have them put their answer in this space here. And I'm going to go ahead and make that green, that way they know, hey, this is where you can type. So now we're going to use something called an if function, and we're going to give them some feedback. So up here I'm going to say answer here, and here we're going to put in feedback. So my feedback is if they get it right or not. So I'm going to say equals if, and this is feedback, so it says if logical test, so if this equals, and 3 times 1 is 3, if logical test, then I'm going to put a comma. If it's true, we're going to say you rock, and then comma, and then if false, we'll put keep trying. And I have to put these in, I have to put these in parentheses, otherwise it's not going to work. Almost there. So if it's a 3, it says you rock, and if it's not a 3, it's going to say keep trying. So enter. Right now it says keep trying because there's nothing there. 3 times 1 is 7. No, try again. 3 times 1 is 4. We're getting closer. 3 times 1 is 3. You rock. All right, get the point? So we're going to do that again, and we're going to do it a few times just so you get the idea of how to do it. Equals if, and I'm going to go ahead and select the function from here, and that way it tells me what criteria it needs to be. So 3 times 2, if this cell equals 6, comma, and then this time we're going to say fantastic, and then close parentheses, not close parentheses, close quotation. And if not, it's going to say keep working. Try to vary it up a tiny bit. And close parentheses. Oops, I have 2 close parentheses. There we go. It says keep working until I put in a 6, then it says fantastic. We'll do one more if, equals if, and select it. And if this is equals 9, and we could use greater than, we could use less than, we're going to use equal to, because it fits the formula for now, and you still get the idea of how to do it. Then it's going to say wonderful. But if not, we're going to say try again. Until I put 9 in, and then it says wonderful. Okay, so you get the point of if functions. I use this with physical fitness testing. And so I plug in all the numbers, and it will tell me presidential or national. So there's some practical application for this. So I'm going to drag and drop this down. We're just going to have it all be the exact same. Now, problem being, it is relational, which is good. So now it has C6, which is a correct cell, and it'll do that for all of these. The problem is my answer is not always going to be 9. So I drag and drop down, so they're all either going to say wonderful or try again, but I do have to go through and change them individually to have the right answer. So I'm just going to fly through this and make sure I have all of the correct answers, because we don't want to give them feedback telling them they're right if they're wrong, or they're wrong if they're right. So we put the right answers in, and it says wonderful. Okay, so we're about done here. The next thing I want to do is we're gonna tabulate how many they have left. So over here I'm going to space over to column F, and I'm going to say equals if this equals 3, we're going to have it say 1. No, we'll have it say 0. or 1 if it's wrong. So right now it's a 0, and this one, okay, so the reason I'm doing this is down at the bottom, I'm going to tab this plus this plus this. If you want to use the equals sum formula, you can. I'm going to do it the slow way. I'm going to total up the total number of problems they have left. So in this, questions needing correct answers. And so again, this one, if it's if function, if this equals 6, then give me a 0. If it's not, give me a 1. So what I'm counting here is if it's right, there's 0 problem left to do for that one. If it's wrong, well, there's still 1 problem you need to do there. So if equals if this equals 9, then there are no problems left to do on row 5. If it's not a 9, there's still 1 problem they need to do to get correct. I'm going to hit enter, and this is a relational one. I can drag and drop it all the way down, and this one totals. It says there are 7 problems I need to do yet. 7 problems I need a correct answer on. So again, just explaining, because I don't feel like I explained that very well. If they have the right answer, if it says 3, it's going to say they have nothing left to do here, or they have a 0. If they have a 12 here, uh-oh, I think I have a 9, so we have to go through and change each one of these also to say the correct amount. Okay, so if we went through this real quickly, get all the right answers, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. All of these are zeros, which means there are 0 answers that have to be fixed. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this text, alignment wrap, so I can scoot this over. It seems like it's a long ways away. Okay, so I have 0 questions that need answering. The problem is I don't want them to see all these zeros. I don't want them to know which one they have correct. Now they can figure it out without too much trouble. So we're going to go through and we're going to get those wrong. I'm going to make these all in a white font. That way you can't tell which ones are right, which ones are wrong. So if they fly through this and they're not paying a whole lot of attention, they get one wrong, they're not sure, they have to go back and recheck all of them to see which one did I get wrong. Right now it says, oh, there's still one left. And there's still that green button right there that tells me which one. But it kind of looks just more professional, because it's like, oh wow, why is this showing that I still have one wrong? Oh, well, I must need to go back in. Okay, so we're almost done here. Questions needing answered. We have an if formula here, an if formula here. The last thing is I have a tendency to have teachers and students go through and delete formulas on accident and completely ruin the sheet, right? By default, all cells are locked, and these are the only cells that I want them typing in. I'm going to go ahead and put a border on those, center it. These are the only cells I want unlocked, meaning the only cells I want students to be able to type in. So I'm going to go in and format cells, and you've maybe noticed a protection tab over here before. And I'm going to uncheck the locked tab, and I'm going to go into tools, and just in case the protection tab didn't show up, that's okay. We're going to go up to tools if it didn't, and if it did, go ahead and uncheck that. And we're going to go down to protection, and we're going to protect sheet. And we don't need it password protected, but allow user to select unlocked and locked cells. We don't want them to be able to select locked cells, just select unlocked cells. And they shouldn't need to format anything, insert anything. All we want them to do is answer the question. So they can select unlocked cells, and that's it. I'm going to click OK. Now if you notice, right now I'm clicking and it is not letting me do anything, which means I can't delete this formula. They can't mess this up. all they can do is put in the answers. They put in the wrong answer, and keep trying, keep trying. Okay, and that's the only space they can go in. So we're almost done. I'm going to go in, make sure everything works. I have 9 left to go, 8 left to go. Answers 9, 7 left to go, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. I got them all right, and I'm done. The last thing I could have done was after this got to 0, I could have put an if formula in that had a big message pop up that says something like fantastic. But you get the idea. That is the if function. Go ahead and save it. Save it with something to do. Make sure your name is in the title somewhere, and hand it in.